Welcome, guys. Hope everyone's had a fantastic Friday. Ruben Amorim comes out fighting. They're fighting words, and we are going to unpick all of it. But first, how many different emotions are we seeing from this manager in the space of 48 hours? It's a whirlwind. The presser was done today. There was plenty of comments. There was comments on the Grimsby game. There was comments on his future. There was also comments on Kobe Mainoo, which I really, really want to delve into. We know there's been reports about him leaving the club. I think there's going to be plenty of things that we are going to agree on and disagree on. But hey, that's why we're here. A couple of hellos first before we start. Niche fan was in nice and early. Says absolutely he's going to be here for 20 years. He's a generational managerial talent. Destroyed City with Sporting. The players need to grow up. We'll go on to that in a bit. Neil says, must be joking. Lucky to be here at Christmas. I kind of agree with you on that one, Neil. But Chappie, good to see you. I hope you're doing well, my friend. And Goat Father says, evening, Dan and Chan. Bit of a rant, but why is the transfer window still open when the season has already started? This has been a long time problem for me. A long time problem. I've never agreed with it. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's just balmy that you shouldn't. Clubs should have had their business done long before the first game of the season. It's always been the way with me. I don't agree with it. Baba Flossie says he meant till the 30th. Till the 30th? Who did? Who meant till the 30th? Give me some more on that, mate. Anthony says, afternoon, Dan. Afternoon, all won't be long. Food nearly ready, but we'll be back to watch afterwards. Let me know what you're having. And yes, brah, oh, do I need to send you a message after this, mate? I don't think you're going to be happy. And that was high for me, that was. Hope you are well, my friend. Right, let's get into the presser. As always, I have my notes on this. Before we do so, there's a stat I saw from Statman Dave today. And when I looked at it, I went, oh, for Christ's sake. You know, you see these, you know United are bad. We know this. We know it's been a horrendous, dreadful few months, 8 months, 9 months. But then you see stats like this and you go, what is the point? What is the point of putting ourselves through this every week? So Manchester United have picked up just 6 Premier League points since the start of April. Now, I know there's been the preseason and the break, but that's fewer than any other ever-present side in the competition. What is going wrong? And what is going wrong? I think we all know it's the formation. There are a lot of people that are still defending Amorim and that are still saying that, it's the players. The players are to blame. And it's not there. It's nah. It's the formation. I think we can all agree with that. Kev says, evening, Dan, evening, legends. I shall be in the corner gently rocking backward and forwards if anyone else needs me. Somebody, I reckon, went out last night and had a few drinks. I love that. Breaded fish and new potatoes, asparagus and parsley sauce. Whoa, sounds decent, that does. And as Wahaha says, if you're new to the channel or if you're returning, make sure you smash a like. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell notification to let you know when we go live. We go live every night at 6:30, unless there's breaking news, which I'll be honest with you, I think the next 3 days it is going to be news galore with Manchester United. So let's go. Just worried about tomorrow, mate. I'll go easy on you tomorrow, don't worry. So let's go into this press conference and what was said. So Amorim comes out and says, if you are one way and if you have this kind of behavior, you have to understand that you have things that are good with, and that you are the other side of the coin bad with. I understand that. And again, sometimes I want to quit. Now, I'll stop there a second. I'm going to stop there. It does not sit right with me that a manager of Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, is happy to come out on more than one occasion and say, sometimes I want to quit. What does that give to the players when we are at the moment still in such a cycle that we can't seem to get out of? We can't seem to buy a win. We can't seem to get consistency. In what world does any manager with a fan base behind him, and the fan base are still behind him, think it's right to say, sometimes I want to quit? There's sometimes I go to work and I go, I can't be asked for this, but I still go through it. But I'm not the manager of one of the biggest clubs in the world. You can't keep saying this. You can't keep dropping these statements. He went on to say, I want to be here for 20 years. Sometimes I love to be with my players. Sometimes I don't want to be with them. I need to improve on that. It's going to be hard, but now I'm focused on the next game. Now, for me, straight away, that's kind of not even owning the fact that what you are saying is wrong. And I want to say this again. I am so far behind wanting this manager to succeed. I want this manager to go out there and succeed. I want him to be the manager that we all know he can be. I want that. But we can't keep going through these cycles of him having a moan and throwing his toys out the pram every time it goes wrong. Ten Hag never said that. Ollie never said that. By the way, Ollie's on the market. So's Jose Mourinho. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't been linked yet. I don't like it. I don't like it. I know that we have to look at these managers as humans, and they are. They're human. I get that. But to be the manager of one of the biggest clubs, you've got to have that confidence in yourself, and we can't keep hearing you throwing your toys out the pram. What else did he say? So he was asked, just in terms of some of your players, we were told yesterday there's a deal agreed for Garnacho to go to Chelsea. Rasmus is going to Napoli, and we know Kobbie Mainoo has said he wants to go on loan because he doesn't believe he's going to play many games. Could you just update us on all three of these situations? And he was very placid with his response about the two players that are leaving, but the Kobbie one did make me prick my ears up. Before I go through it, I know not one of us, none of us Manchester United fans want to see this kid leave the club. We know that he's the future. We know that he has the ability to come in now and change the season. I'm not putting Grimsby on him. I think Grimsby was appalling from all of them. But his response to that was, so until it's official, I won't say much. That was about Højlund and about Garnacho. But he then said, I want Kobbie to stay. He needs to fight for his place, and we need Kobbie. That is not going to change. The rest, I don't know how it's going to finish. I understand that the players are not playing in this moment, are disappointed. Everyone will have the same opportunity to play. You have to fight during the week. When you unpack that, how do you feel about that comment? Because for me, it's one of two things here. A, he's saying, look, I love the kid. I want him to stay. And, you know, he's got my backing as a player. But then in the next breath, he's already putting it as an impossible task for this lad to come and play football for this club. Are you telling me that if Kobbie Mainoo trains better than Bruno Fernandes midweek, that he will play over Bruno? I don't think that at all. If anything, I think it's ludicrous and ridiculous to even think that that would be an outcome. There's just no way that he would sit there and go, do you know what, Bruno, you've trained like trash today. I'm bringing Kobbie. It doesn't work like that. Now, I will say that I do agree with a slight part of what he said, in the sense that he has to fight for his place. I do agree with that, but I also think that there's going to have to be a bit of movement from Amorim to allow this kid to play. We're playing Casemiro, who is 109 years old, whose legs have definitely left him. And yes, he has moments where you go, oh, fair play, he's crunched in with a tackle there. But ultimately, we know that he will be overrun. Then we have Ugarte, who I'm trying my best here to find reasons to keep this lad and to back this lad. And every time he's played, I've been left wondering, why did I even think he was going to work here? Why did I even give any more faith to him? So my question is this. Why not play Kobbie Mainoo with Bruno and play them in the double pivot? Now, I know that you look at Kobbie and he is slightly attacking, but people forget that at 17 years old, 18 years old, this lad come in and was playing the six sometimes for United. And at the way that the midfield's going at the moment, I think he's better than what we've got on the other side of the coin. I think he's better than Casemiro for the fact that he's got the legs. Casemiro was a world-class player, but the key word is was. He is absolutely better than Ugarte. There is nothing about the lad that says to me that he would not be able to pick the pass up from the back three, turn, and try and build on that. I think and actually, part of me wonders if maybe, just maybe, Ruben Amorim will throw a complete wrench in and start him there on Saturday. Now, we'll go over the pre-match later on. There's plenty to talk about the game. But it just interests me, his whole explanation on Kobbie Mainoo. In one sense, he's saying, you've got to fight for your place. In the next sense, he's saying, but it's Bruno Fernandes. I don't like that. I don't like that. He then went on to say, again, he was asked, so Ruben, you said towards the end of last season that if you felt the feeling this season was the same as last season, maybe someone else should take your place. Do you feel the feeling has changed despite the results? He then says, I felt after that game, I don't feel it now. It's a little bit like that. I think that's the hardest part of the defeat. Sometimes it's not the result, it's the way we lost or drew that game. And I'll come into the rest of it in a second. A manager instills confidence. We've said this. We saw him against Grimsby. He was outschooled. He was outschooled in the footballing sense. Couldn't watch the penalty shootout, so he was a coward with that. And then he had an absolute head wobble after the game. Are these factors that are going to make us a great team? I'm all for players, I'm all for managers learning on the job at lower league clubs. You get young managers that have their first job, and we saw it with Lampard, we saw it with Gerrard, we've seen it with, Rangers they're not a small club, but they're not Premier League. We've seen it with so many of them. They're learning. With this job, you cannot learn on the spot with Manchester United. You cannot try and learn how to be a better person who is accountable for results and is there to say on the post-match interview, this is the reason why we lost. This is what we're going to change. You can't have training for that. As a football manager, you absolutely can't. It just doesn't work. What else did he say? Let's go into some more. He then said, where are we? That is the thing that's hard to accept because we can do better. Yeah, don't we know it? It's the small things, recovery positions, fight for the ball, running, all of these small things. Sometimes we dropped a little bit the level. The good thing is that we now have the next game to put that level up, and that is the focus. Now, yeah, I agree. And I said this yesterday. The good thing about that result was that we knew that we were going to have the game on Saturday. It's coming thick and fast, and we can absolutely try and go out there and change the performance. But I go back to it, chat. Manchester United, under this manager, under this formation, are not ready. They are not there. They're not there to pull up trees. Now, yes, you can go, and I did get swayed a little bit last night. You can blame it on the goalkeepers, and I will go into what apparently has been reported about the goalkeepers. But off the ball, we look so weird. I'm sick of seeing us lining up in a 5-2-3. That is the definition of defensive. That is the definition of not knowing how to carry the ball forward. That is the definition of giving up possession. You see teams when they play bigger sides, unless it's United, lining up with normally a back five or playing so defensive, playing a 4-3-3, but having the two midfielders so deep to create that low block. Manchester United should not be lining up with that, regardless of the fact we finished 15th. We should be lining up and going for it. I don't know which way to turn with it. Let's go through some of these comments. Nathan says, I'd take Ollie back all day. Do you know something? I said this in the chat, the 12th man last night. I wasn't even joking at the moment. Why not? As much as we wanted Bruno dropped, we clearly need him on the pitch, says Kev. Yes and no. I had time to think about this with Bruno. Bruno, who I believe if he scores on Saturday, tomorrow, will equal Brian Robson's record of goals, which I think is phenomenal. To be fair to him, it is phenomenal, especially with how bad we've been. Bruno, in a 10 position, we need him. We absolutely need him. Bruno in this 8-6 hybrid, no, I don't think we do. It was Grimsby on Wednesday. Of course he was going to come on and look better. You'd expect him to look better, but against Fulham, against Arsenal, I saw a guy that was just lost at sea with his positional awareness, with his discipline. I think the position change has gone to his head. I think it's got to his head. I really, really do. So I take your point, Kev. I do, but I just think Bruno further forward. Yeah, absolutely, we need him, but in that position, definitely not. I'll go through this in a second, Neil. There is news on Hoyland. Kobe Mainoo is probably the only player who is Man U and plays for the badge. Man U fans in the chat tell me more names. I agree. Sorry, Goat Father. I genuinely do. We have a midfield two of Casemiro and Ugarte, and we want to let Mainu go. And I will pre-warn you, chat. If Mainu leaves on loan, and we know Napoli are looking at him and they're very confident in getting him in, if we let Mainu leave on loan, I will lose my head. You will see a meltdown because of all the players in that squad that you should be maybe giving more minutes. He is definitely one of them. At his age, he is already better than Ugarte. Already better than Ugarte. Ugarte can't control the ball and he can't pass the ball, and he gives away needless free kicks. I would much rather see Mainu in that position. And I know people talk about his fitness and blah, but guess what? Do you know how you're going to see Mainu play better? Do you know how you're going to see Mainu build up his fitness? By playing football matches. Okay? By playing football matches. So I'm not happy with this Mainu stories that are going around. Fabrizio's reporting it. Ben Jacobs is reporting it. Everyone's reporting it. Manchester United, if they let Mainu go out on loan, will have a lot to answer for. And I can't for the life of me think why Wilcox would allow it, which is why I do genuinely think the stories that we're seeing that Wilcox, that behind the scenes people are saying to him, no, we want you to stay and fight for your place. I think there's something in that. I genuinely do. The last thing I want to see, though, is on Monday at 4:30 in the afternoon, Manchester United agree loan deal for Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo on the way to the airport. I don't want to see that. I think the best thing we can do tomorrow is see this kid line up for Manchester United at Old Trafford so we can feel the love of the fans, the love of the players, and just push on. That's what has to happen. Neil says Ahmad. I'm not sure about Ahmad. I'm not sure about Ahmad being the guy that plays for the badge. I think he's been woeful this season, Neil. Steve-O, good to see you. Says, hi, Dan. Mainu can play with Bruno, but he'll need to babysit. He'll need help for the easy pass, and he mustn't go too far forward. I agree with that. But let's give the kid a chance to do so. Because at the moment, playing Casemiro and Ugarte ain't working. And It's Me Everest says, shout out everyone in the chat and Dan, like if you haven't yet, and sub if you are new here. Make sure you do. And I must head off to sleep early as I'm super knackered. We'll watch this on replay. Have a great rest of the stream, everyone. Thank you very much. It's me, Everest. Good to see you, my friend. So what else did I get from this today? I'll tell you what I took from this, actually, before I go into the other news. I'll tell you what I took from this. I took from this that Ruben Amorim wanted to come out fighting, wanted to show that he was absolutely still the man for the job. But I think his answers were slightly naive. I think he was trying to give the reasoning for why his reactions are the way they are. And I think by his own accounts, he says, look, I'm emotional. I am emotional. And I will wear my heart on my sleeve. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We see managers get emotional a lot, but this has happened so many times since he's been here. It's like the bloke, isn't it, Jeff at work, that comes in every week and goes, oh, I hate this place. I'm going to quit. I am. But then later on in the week, you go, Jeff, you still quitting? And he goes, no. I was miserable the other day. It was Monday. I was miserable. I love this place. I love working here. How many times is Jeff going to say that before he goes, before management gets wind of this and says, look, Jeff, we've had enough, mate. You're going. And with Amorim, I think his intentions are honest, and I think he is trying to say, look, if I'm not wanted here, I'll go. But at the same time, you need to stop coming out and giving people like me, giving the media, giving journalists, giving ex-players the ammunition to say, is this guy really up to the job? Because at the moment, he genuinely isn't. He's showing himself to be so far out of his depth with the stubbornness that he shows. There's Jasper behind me. What are you doing, mate? The stubbornness he shows in not willing to change his formation, it comes across as childish. It comes across as childish for me. Let's have a look what else we have got here. Me says, I'm going to say Emmy, but I think it's me. He ain't going to be here within the next 20 days, let alone years. Bye Amorim. Mustafa, good to see you, says Hannibal and Twanzebe return tomorrow. I wonder what reception Twanzebe will get because he's trying to sue the club, isn't he? Wahaha says, Amorim's formation will never work if our wing-backs are delivering stinkers after stinkers. I agree with that. I'd be interested to see how different it would be if we had Mazraoui out on that right. I mean, only club in the country that has 3 players to play at right wing back. 2 of them are just not doing it. Me says he's more of a banker, more of a baker than a manager. And he says, I'll coach United 20 times better than this fraud. Most teams play 2-4-3-1 when in possession, 2 centre-backs at the halfway. The problem is his 5-2-3 when we haven't got the ball. And I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely see where you're coming from. The transition in play, it doesn't work. We look so rigid. Teams, like I said, and I don't want to dwell on it too much, but like I said, if teams like Grimsby are coming at us and playing through us, and at the end of the game telling us how they're doing that, then there's problems with the formation. Chappie says United are not taking care of the young players psychologically. I mean, there's a whole different conversation there, isn't there, Chappie? And I can see why you say it, but there is an element with Manu. I will say this, as much as I'm battering Amorim here, there is an element of this kid should, he's missed the first 2 games. Yes, I appreciate, we all want him to play, but we're not in the middle of November here and he's played 12 minutes in the Premier League. I think there's 2 ways of this. He has either been told by Amorim that you ain't playing, or he just doesn't want to put the work in and do it. I'd like to think that he does want to put the work in and play. He's a Manchester boy. Steve-O says, thinking about it, Dan, if we play a high line like the 75th minute against Grimsby, it will suit Manu and everyone better, but we have to have better control. Manchester United, though, unfortunately, Steve-O, don't play games with control. There isn't any control in the way we do it. We did okay against Arsenal, but again, I'll say this to you. Arsenal had an absolute stinker against us. They got the goal because of a shite goalkeeping error. Manchester United need to be careful with this whole stick and twist with Amorim. And me says right centre back to right back, left wing back to left back, left cam to left mid, right cam drops in the middle with the 2 CMs, right wing back to right midfield. That's your 4-5-1. Get your bloody CV in there. Plus playing in Bromo, the league's best winger last season behind Salah as a 10. And Pep has used at least 15 formations whilst at City. World-class managers adapt their players, the league, the game. Alonso at Madrid has even used his 3 formations already and dropped his 3-4-3. I agree. Here's the question. We've got defiance from the manager. The manager's come out and showed defiance, and I appreciate that. He's going to, isn't he? But if he does lose against Burnley, let's go about his mental state here. And I'm not saying he's got mental health problems. I've worked in mental health myself. I'm not saying that. But let's look at this from his mentality here and from his emotional state. He's gone from on Wednesday saying, that's it, I've had enough. If you want me to go, I'll go. Grim, the players spoke loud. You can see that. Basically saying he was going to go. To then go to, no, I want to be here for 20 years. If he loses against Burnley tomorrow at Old Trafford, what are we honestly thinking is going to happen with this manager? Like, are we expecting this manager to then do exactly what he's just been doing on Wednesday and say, nah, that's it, I've had it. Like Jeff at work, I've had it. I've had enough here. Can't do this anymore. And I'll go one further. If we get another press conference, a post-match reaction from him, a post-match interview where he says, no, I'm done. If no one here, I'll go. Will the Manchester United board say, do you know what? We've had enough of this now. He keeps saying this. Amorim, we need to have a chat. And will there then be that mutual termination conversation? Because, again, I'll reiterate, I want all managers to succeed at Manchester United. Hell, even when Ten Hag was bad, I still wanted him to win, because if he's winning, we're winning as fans. But I just don't think that Manchester United as a club, the players, or us as a fan base can take another moment of Amorim throwing his toys out the pram and saying, well, if I'm not wanted, I'm not wanted. I want to know what you think about that. Ahmad, no, I agree. I don't think Ahmad is a wing-back either, Neil. I've been a United fan since 91, and honestly, I want Burnley to batter us 4-0. So he's 100% sacked. Honestly, it's that bad. I can't stand him, bro. It's a tough one, though, me, because I'll be honest with you, I see where you're coming from, but I don't think I'd be ready to take the banter from rival sides if we go into the City game with 1 point. But I'm not 90% sure he goes during the break, regardless of the result against Burnley. And do you know something? Me's got a very good point on here. I wonder if we will see it where we'll get through the game. Bo, will you shut up? Shut up, bloody cat. Will we see it? The game happens, whatever the result is. Once he has the time then to go home to his family, which he will, we go back to Portugal whilst the international break is on. Will we see him really deep this and say, I think that it's time for me to go? Will he go Gary Barlow? I guess now it's time for me to give up. We'll have to wait and see. Baba says, hello, lads. New here. Glory, glory, Man United. Yes, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining. Make sure you smash a like on the way in as well. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. My first choice would be Iriola. But the available managers like Xavi would do be great. Even Mourinho and Dice would do better. Do you know something? I'm amazed that it hasn't already surfaced yet. Manchester. I did see one story. I'm lying to you. I saw one story where Mourinho had apparently said he is doing all he can to get back to Manchester United. Now, my rule has always been the same: never go back. Never, ever, ever go back. That's always been my motto. I would like to think that Manchester United wouldn't be foolish enough to go back to Jose Mourinho, because as much as Jose wasn't backed in the transfer window, that guy created so much trouble with the players that were there. Created so much trouble there. He was a serial winner. He isn't now. I think he's a manager that has gone past his sell-by date. And I mean that with the greatest of respect. I know he won the Europa League, or was it the Conference League with Roma? But I think his time as a manager, as an elite manager, is long gone. Long gone. And I foolishly said about Ollie last night to Pete, from the Loaded Mag. I was like, just get Ollie back, for fuck's sake. Just bring him back. Let's get the good times back. Let's get Ollie's at the wheel. But again, I would definitely not take Ollie back. But what I would do is there are managers out there that we could look at. There are managers out there that I think would do a good job. And it was spoken about yesterday. And actually, I would probably put my full backing behind this manager, and I would go for Marco Silva from Fulham. I think he is more than adept, and I think he is more than ready to take a club like Manchester United on. I think he's a great manager. I genuinely do. Let's go through some more of these comments. Brian scored against Grimsby when Mainu passed the ball to his feet. Cunha creates chances when you put the ball to his feet. One criticism of Bruno and Cassie is they hoof the ball for them to chase. And we saw that so many times in the Fulham game. It's a great comment, Baba. Is it Baba or Baba? Sorry if I got it wrong. We saw that so many times against Fulham, didn't we? Where Casemiro was playing that one-time hit, that first-time pass, just lumping it down the wing. And Ahmad couldn't get near it. Brian couldn't get near it. And then we're wasting possession again. And the same thing with Bruno. Bruno can absolutely hit that ball on a sixpence. He can. We know his ability. But I saw Bruno play a pass against Arsenal where he completely took out three players, played it straight down the middle. We nearly went through one-on-one and scored. Bruno can play these passes. I want him to concentrate on that. He's a deep-lying playmaker if he stays in this position. I want him to focus on that more. Me says, no disrespect, but you look about my age, 36. I'm older, mate, but I will definitely take that on a Friday. I'm only a couple of years older than you. When have you ever seen United play a back five? I haven't. Well, Van Gaal tried it. Do you remember the first game of the season against Swansea when we got absolutely battered? Started with a back five, and then he but the thing is, he realised it didn't work in the Premier League, and he changed it. So, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Mourinho quit last night, Ollie too, yeah. Never go back to your ex, says Mustafa. I don't know if Mrs. Robinson's got the door shut, so she didn't hear that. Jose would keep West Ham up. I could see Jose at West Ham. I just want a manager who plays a back four, and I agree. And Motta is available too, but I don't know much about him. Marco Silva, I would be very happy with. And Wahaha says, has Motta done anything good as a manager? He did okay. Was he in charge of Bologna or something like that? Let me have a look. I'm sure it was Bologna where he got him into Champions League or someone like that. Let me have a look. Yeah, Bologna. He had an amazing stint at Bologna. Got him in the Champions League, I think. And then went to Juventus, and it went absolutely, to coin a Jamie Tart phrase, poopy. It went poopy for him. I didn't particularly like him as a player either. and Bologna and Juve. So I think Marco Silva would be great. And actually, I think Marco Silva, when you look at managers that are available, and you look at managers that are around, I think he would be the one that we would have the least issues trying to get to the club. I genuinely do. I think he dance his way to Old Trafford. I think that. What we got? Chappie says, I've got pants older than 39. You know, well, you make me feel young, mate. So, how old are you, Chappie? I don't think I've asked you that before. Carrick is available too, but he would be too friendly. I think Carrick would be the interim choice, wouldn't he? I think he genuinely would be the interim choice. The thing for me with Carrick's a highly rated young manager. Well, he was before the Middlesbrough situation. But I thought he looked good at Manchester United when he had Kieran McKenna. People still talk about Kieran McKenna as well. And Kieran McKenna's a decent manager. I thought he tried his best with Ipswich. They were always going to go down last season. Is Kieran McKenna an option? I'm not too sure I'd want that one. But I think Marco Silva for me. Wahaha says, don't trust Silva. Come on then. Please explain. Please explain. Read today that it would cost about 12 million to sack Amorim and his team. And this is the thing I want to go back to. Amorim saying he'd walk. There's no way this guy would walk. He would absolutely want paying off. I just think he does it for effect and then realizes that the English media are different to the Portuguese media and absolutely take it and run with it and goes, oh, no. Wait. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. And also, I did want to run through this as well. There was news today. I love this. Anthony news. We'll go through it. So Manchester United and Betis, Real Beggars, I call them, are in discussions about Anthony. And Betis have come with a blinder. So the main stumbling block in agreeing Anthony's sale has been his valuation, as we know. Betis can't afford to match United's demands this summer. However, they may have finally found a solution with just 2 days left until the window closes. So a Spanish report has told from ABC has said that Betis will submit an offer for Anthony soon, where they will purchase 50% of the player for approximately 22 million. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love the Bulls in this club, man. This means that United will still own half of Anthony. How will that frigging work? This isn't Sunday League where you can co-register players. Right, Anthony, we'll have him back for 3 months and we'll send him back. So they'll still own him, and Betis will have to offer United more money in the future if they wish to buy the Brazilian outright. This type of deal is very unique, but it could be the only way Betis can afford to buy Anthony from United, and potentially the only way he leaves the club this summer. What are we thinking about that, chat? What are we thinking about that? Like, for me, I'm all for clubs trying to be creative. I'm all for people trying to be creative to get what they want. But in what world does that work? Listen, Wilcox, yo, it's me from Betis. It's the director. We've got an idea for you. Right now, hear me out. Don't shoot me down just yet. But 22 million. No, wait. 22 million. Don't shout. 22 million for half of Anthony. Have we got a hello? Jace, he's gone. United can't accept that. Like, if they can't, if I would be more than happy, and I know my opinion doesn't matter to Manchester United, but if they're willing to offer 22 million, chances are they're more than happy. They're more than happy to pay 30. Tell them 30 million. Tell them to give us a 40% sell on or a 30% sell on. And let this player be gone. Let this player be gone. Release him. Release him to Betis. But we can't go down this route. Big up, Shane. Good to see you, my man. Great to see you. Hope you're well. Niche fans back and says, guys, Ruben is here for the long haul. Let's all get behind him. Aye. Let's get behind him. I love you, Niche fan. You know that. I love you, but... he's okay, but nothing about him screams United to me. But if we're talking about Marco Silva, name me a manager that screams United, because we've done this before. We've said this manager screams United, comes in absolutely useless. This manager comes in absolutely useless. Maybe we need to think about this the other way around, and maybe not think about what we think we need and just go for someone who's Premier League proven. Yes, he's not won anything with Fulham. I appreciate that, but I'd like to think with better players, and we do have better players. We do have better players. I'd like to see what he could do. And then we've got Mustafa says rank these 3 interims being what 1 to 3. Okay, Giggs, Carrick, and Rude. Out of the 3 of them, you go Carrick 1, Rude 2, Giggs 3. I think. I think I'd be happy with that. He says I like McKenna's style. I don't mind his style. Guys, Ruben is here. I think I've read that one, to be fair, so I won't reread that one. Wahaha says, I don't think he's someone to apply himself to the players enough. I disagree with that. I think his players look like the type of players that would run through a brick wall for him. I don't rule him out is all I'm saying, Wahaha. Have a think about it. Me says, I read that Le Mans will be done by tomorrow, but not a reliable source. I don't think, well, the Le Mans one, I do have news on that. So with Le Mans, he's currently training alone. And I love what the Royal Antwerp manager says here. So he says, Le Mans is following an individual program in consultation with all parties. That's a logical decision. Since this could be a major outgoing transfer, we want to minimise the risk of injuries. Now, there are other reports that apparently United are still stuck trying to sort the fee out for him. And apparently personal terms haven't been agreed either. Now, you can take that with a pinch of salt. Because, and I'll go on to this actually before we go back to the other news, that apparently, not that it should be breaking news, chat. In fact, it shouldn't be a shock at all, but Ruben Amorim has almost completely lost faith in both Onana and Binder. There has also been a clear loss of confidence from the United players. Surprise, surprise. Amorim pushing for a new goalkeeper before the window shuts with Sen Le Mans the most advanced. Now, with the Garnacho sale and with what I think will be an Anthony sale soon, I think Manchester United, like I said last night, have to, instead of going out there trying to get Baleba, because that ain't going to happen. Go out there, sign someone like an Aguero or sign a Hjulmand and go out there and sign a decent keeper. I'm talking a keeper like Martinez who's got the bit about him, who's got the respect as a player, someone who is a rascal, someone who's played in the Premier League. Yes, he had a dicey season last season, but this guy, I'd take him in a heartbeat. I think we need to be really, really smart with what we do with the transfers. Honestly do. Guarav says, Big Ange, let's go. Fucking hell. I'm not sure I want Big Ange, mate. Big Ange would end up scrapping with these players. Imagine Big Ange with Bruno. I think Chelsea will unveil Garnacho in their game. Yeah, well, that's pretty much done now, isn't it? And I didn't rate any manager we had after Fergie. Yeah, okay. I get that, Wahaha. But okay, Wahaha, who do you want as manager? Who do you want as manager? Like, I want to know. I'm not digging you out. I want to know who you want as manager. And then we can speak it through. Only Ferguson and Sir Matt Busby knows what it takes to manage us, and we've not had that. Do you know something? Actually, Mustafa has come with an absolute banger. An absolute banger of a comment there. A lot of you won't be old enough to remember Sir Matt Busby. I'm certainly not old enough. But if you follow United as much as I do and you look at the history of the club, Manchester United in their history haven't exactly had the greatest of history of managers, have we? You think about it, when Sir Matt Busby went, no one was successful until Sir Alex Ferguson. How many years was that? How many years? What was it, like 30 years? I hope to Christ that we're not waiting 30 years for a manager to come in and replicate Fergie. Jesus Christ. Baba says, I don't want any more hipster managers from overseas leagues who don't respect their Prem and how brutal the league is. And this is why I say Marco Silva, by the way. Me says, I'd be happy with the 22 million if we get Firpo to us and a 40% sell-on fee for Anthony. They won't give us Firpo. They won't. They're too tight. We already see they're too stingy. But I'd settle on 30 million with a 30%. Look at us. We're negotiating and we're not even involved in it. I think Alan Partridge would do a better job. Fucking hell. I think Alan Partridge would at the moment. Give me a Premier League proven manager who knows the league inside and out. And Ineos says, Wahaha, if they decide to sack Amorim, shouldn't be talking to potential managers right now. I trust Ratcliffe to pick someone after he's had interviews with them. Yeah, I don't think they should be talking to managers. I agree with that. But I would hope that Manchester United at this moment have a contingency plan in place where they have already drawn up a short list of managers, where they think, right, worst case scenario, he goes after Burnley or an international break. We've got these managers. We go and we sort out. I'd hope so anyway. A manager needs respect, and Amorim's outburst on Wednesday probably lost any he had. And Chappie, that is such a great comment, mate. That is such a great comment. We didn't even think about what the players thought looking at their manager offering to quit again. We don't know. What's this? Sorry. What's this? Let me just have a quick look. All right. Sorry. Butlin's bloody messaging me. We don't know what I mean, surely the senior players, if I was a senior player, pretty much, I'll go back to office talk. If I'm working in office and my manager keeps coming out saying, I'm quitting, I've had enough, I'm quitting, I've had enough. You best believe I'm going to pull this manager aside and say, look, are you all right? Are you all right? You know, like, you keep talking about quitting. You keep talking about, are you okay? I just wonder if any of the players have pulled him to one side and said, like, oh, are you actually okay, Ruben? Because I know you're stressed. I know we're not doing well, but you can't keep saying that. Kev says Le Mans will be thinking, I don't need to do anything special to get in this team. I agree with that. Albert Riera. Hang on a minute. Albert Riera. Was he the lad that was at Liverpool for a little bit? I swear he was. I swear he went to Liverpool. Yeah, he did. That's why I didn't. That's why I didn't go full in with that. I know exactly why you want him. I rated Moyes and Mourinho. To be fair, they fell out of with the board, but given time, I think they would have done well. David Moyes, I've always had this argument. You don't sign a manager on a 6-year contract with a club with a whole squad that needs rebuilding and sack him after 7 months. And we were 7th, weren't we? Remember when we thought 7th was bad? Now we're praying we get to 7th. Jose knows United, says Gaurav. Oliver Glasner from Palace would be like, I would love Glasner from Palace, but there would be no chance. I don't think he'd come. I genuinely don't. I think he's invested in what they're doing with the project at Crystal Palace. He's loved there and adored there, and I couldn't see it. Would I take Jose back? I wouldn't. I say this categorically now. I would not take Jose Mourinho back at Manchester United. I don't think he's right for it. I think Jose Mourinho 10 years ago, absolutely. Jose now, no, it's done. I'd take Jose back as interim for the rest of the season. I worry about interim. Interim, we've seen it before where interim, they come in, do decent. We sign them on a full-time contract, remember, Ollie, and then it all goes to shite. Tell Bettis to do one, says Neil. How about the new goalkeeper, says Isa. Hope you're well, mate. You look like you're a newbie. Make sure you smash the like and hit subscribe. The new goalkeeper, well, we're waiting for Le Mans. I think Le Mans is obviously the keeper we're waiting for. I think that will be done this weekend. Well, it has to be. Look at, I don't know what Jasper's saying. Jasper, you all right? You all right, mate? You okay? Okay, never mind. Sorry, mate. My bad. Pissed him off there. Baba says we have a squad imbalance, and Wilcox being the footballing brain should right through it. Okay, we are light in the midfield, and a guy like Baleba should be our first signing, but unfortunately, Baleba is a no-go. Baleba's a no-go. It's just too late in the window. It's too late in the window. Do you mind? It's too late. It's too late in the window for us to even contemplate Baleba now. Brighton would not bother. They wouldn't do that business. Southgate, no, thank you. Imagine. God, we thought it was bad before. We would be absolutely destroyed by rival fans. Southgate coming in with, oh, God. I don't think I'm ready for that. Off you go, Jasp. He's doing an amazing job at Kelge. I can't say that club. I'm sorry, mate. Also, do you remember when players had to clean the first team boots? Now they don't. There's no respect or hard work anymore from the academy to first team. It's yeah, look, Chidobe's on 30k a week. He's 17 years old. I was on like 150 quid a week when I was 17 years old. It's everything that's wrong with football. Pardew said United lacks leadership. He's right. You need 4 or 5 leaders on the pitch during Ferguson era. You had 4 or 5. Yeah, you absolutely did. And if you had a chance to see them play, it's crazy. Are they? Can I get them on? Fuck, Jasp, what are you doing? Can I get them on? Are they on Sky at all or anything like that? I'll try and keep an eye out for them. Who's that? Yeah, I don't know where they play from. Give me Nuno interim, says Babber. He's not even left bloody Forest yet. He got into the quarterfinal of the Conference League last year. He lost to Fiorentina after De Gea had a couple of great games. I'd rather have Wharton, if I'm honest. Plus, he helps with the homegrown agenda, and him and Mania could form a great partnership for club and country. Honestly, you know with Wharton that we would be looking to be paying a minimum of 80 million. 80 million, which, let's be honest, Manchester United just don't have the beans for that, unfortunately. Now, the other bit of news, just to quickly run through, is that Rasmus Højlund and Sancho, I'll end on these pair. I don't remember talking about Sancho because he infuriates me, but Rasmus Højlund was all set to go to Napoli, and then it looks like Leipzig have come in with an offer. Now, I don't want to. Is there much on the offer? I don't know if it's for sale or if it's for, if it's a loan. I would like to hope that it's a full sale. I'd like to see him go to Leipzig. I think he'd be quality there. Højlund to RB. Let's just have a quick look and see. Okay. So apparently it could be a full sale. Now, with that, there's a positive here, and there is a positive. As much as I think Rasmus should stay for backup, if we can get a transfer fee for Højlund and Antony and Sancho in the next 24 hours, get these here we goes going, I honestly feel like Manchester United can go out there and sign a couple more players, because it looks like that's what we're waiting for. I think there is potential here for Manchester United to have a decent end to the transfer window. I don't know what you guys think, but I mean, what's me saying here? I get it that it's not. A lot of people say it's done with Napoli, but I think the word I'm hearing is that Leipzig have come in, and I think he is interested in it. 4.5 loan and 34.5 million obligation to buy if Napoli get you. I mean, they've got to get Champions League in that division. They're one of the strongest teams. But I just think it's interesting. I think it's good for Manchester United if clubs are coming this late in the day to try and get this player, because what does it do? Well, it means that potentially you can have that bit more of a bidding more, and you can say, well, we're looking at this Napoli. We don't owe Napoli anything. We don't owe them a damn thing. So I'd like to see if there's some truth in this, and I'd like to see if it does ruffle the feathers a little bit. Baba says, what's wrong with Sancho? Brother, move. There's only a few days left. He's not in a mood to play football, I believe. Do you know something? I genuinely feel like I think Jadon Sancho could be done with football when he's like 26, 27, maybe 28. I don't think he enjoys playing football at all. Now, the word coming out is that Roma are still targeting Jadon Sancho before the Monday transfer deadline, despite his previous refusal, preparing a more tempting offer. Doesn't that... I mean, if I'm Roma, I don't want this clown anywhere near my club. Why should you have to beg someone who a club like Chelsea paid money to send back to United? Why should you beg this player and give him more money to tempt him over? I just think Jadon Sancho, if it was up to me, I'd pull the plug. I'd just take the L, pay him off, and get rid of him. Because at the moment, I still think there's a real concern that come the 1st of September, he's still at Manchester United, and he's then just sitting there taking a wage. There has to be some sort of give. There has to be some sort of give, and he has to go. He has to go. I answered that one, Issa. It looks like it's going to be, unless I've just scrolled up the chat. No. It looks like it's going to be Le Mans. It looks like it's going to be Le Mans that it is. Oh, right. Sorry. I see what you mean. How about a new keeper with the money? Yeah, well, I said that before. If Manchester United get the money in, absolutely go out there and sign a more combative keeper, a keeper that is proven and knows what they're doing. Because we will have a lot of question marks on Le Mans, and if he is the man to do something at this club, but we don't know. We don't know. And Gurav says Dele Alli 2.0. I couldn't agree more. So just to recap, guys, if you've just joined, Ruben Amorim has come out with fighting talk today. It's fallen flat for me. I don't sit there, read these comments, watch the video, watch it back and listen and think, that's my manager. That's my manager who's prepared to come out here and fight. What I do see it as is someone that is just constantly moaning, constantly threatening about leaving the club. And I think if he genuinely is not careful, I think Manchester United may soon take him up on that offer. The other problem I think we've got here, to close it on Amorim, is Amorim has a real worry here that he could, I think, damage his growing reputation in world football. Now, look, him not succeeding at Manchester United. Loads of managers have been here and they've done that. But I think the way he's handling himself lately, I think he could damage a future of maybe going to a top club after Manchester United. So we'll have to see. And Gurav says it's a crunch game tomorrow. It absolutely is. Le Mans, I'm happy with. Schmeichel came from Bromby, Seaman from QPR, Czech from Rons. I think he will be a world-class goalkeeper. There is a lot of talent in this kid. Rated as the best goalkeeper under 23 in European football last season. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm going with, and I can't believe I'm going to do this, but you know what? Why not? It's Manchester United. I'm going with 3-1 tomorrow. I think the players need to show a response. They'll be at Old Trafford, and I think the fans will get behind them. Let me know what your score predictions are. I am on Football's 12 Man hosting at 8 o'clock. I'm helping out there. So if you're on about there, make sure you pop over and say hello. But other than that, guys, it's been a fantastic Friday. Been great to speak to you all. We will be live, Kev and I, tomorrow from 2:15, where we will go through the team news, what we're looking at, and any news that has happened during the last few days. If there is anything that happens tonight that is breaking, I will go live, of course. But other than that, guys, make sure you like and subscribe on the way out. Hit the bell, and I will see you all tomorrow at 2:15. Dan United, Ota!